everybody, welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Scout Report, and we look ahead to the only game of the season that's got anything left of meaning, and that's the South Yorkshire Derby on Saturday with Barnsley coming to town. We've got Andy from Red All Over joining us to the lowdown. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm fine. Tired now, but yeah, fine. The only game that's got anything left to play for. Local pride. And that's it, Matt, at this rate. Local pride. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm fine. I've been worse. I can't remember when, but I have been worse.
Right, I want to take us back. Rotherham fans won't like me doing this. I'll take us back to that night in November or whenever it was when you beat us. I like to hear from opposition because that was one of our dark nights of the season. It was a local derby and we just kind of didn't turn up and we felt like we were awful. Just talk me through the Barnsley side of things because it was a good night for you guys.
Oh, you were awful. You were awful. I thought I expected a lot. I expected a lot more, to be honest, because local derby. I thought both teams would be up for it. You'd signed some. I know it was early on, but you'd signed some good players. I know we've said before you released or let go a number of players, but signed a load of others. Some quality, in my view, quality players. So much so that a number of the Red All Over crowd were putting you down at the least in the playoffs. Some putting you down in automatic promotion. So I expected a lot, and truthfully, I expected a lot from Steve Evans' side because one thing Steve isn't is a shrinking violet. I thought you'd be up and at us, and it would be a proper, as I like him to be, a proper full-blooded local derby, and it wasn't. We played. At the time, we weren't brilliant, but we played, in the games around it. But we were the better team on the day, and I think I'm not going to about it too much because it's only one game, and one game don't make a season. But you let your fans down. I think we've let ours down a number of times since, and recently. So I'm not. I'm not going to sit here being the big I am that you'll let your lot down, and and wear this and wear that because we've been very similar. We're not far apart from each other in formation, in style, and all that. We're not far apart from each other at all. So it from our point of view, it were a good game and one that we were chuffed to win, but I thought there'd be a lot more. I thought there'd be some right battling going on, and it weren't quite the same. I do think that Sam Nombi played well. I think he was the one that he was moving about, spent a lot of time on the left-hand side, but moving about a lot and trying to press us. But sadly, for some of the time, he were on his own doing it. So I thought that were a shame. But I think he's a quality player. So it's good that you've got him.
Absolutely, I like Number. This is a third season in League One, back-to-back playoffs. Talk to me about League One because when we've always been in League One, we thought was tough. This pre-season felt like a really tough League One, but then as we're playing the games, I'm not convinced it's as tough as I thought it was going to be. And then I was even more surprised. Forget about us. I was surprised that you guys have kind of slipped away from the playoffs as well because you felt like you were going to be in there.
Devastated. Yeah, I mean, at the start of the season, I thought exactly the same, Matt. I thought, with the teams that have come down, your Huddersfields and yourselves, and Birmingham especially, who've spent an astronomical amount for a championship side, let alone a League One side, a phenomenal amount of money. But quality player in Jay Stansfield. I thought we lost. We gambled, I think, last season. We got a few players that were going to be out of contract at the end of the season, such as Herbie Kane and, a few others. Devante Cole, who'd scored goals for fun leading up to Christmas, and then I think he scored 2 after Christmas. So whether he's looking elsewhere, wherever it was, and a couple of others, Cadden at left wing back. So we could have, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? We could have sold them or tried to sell them in January and got some half decent money for them because they're good players. For example, Herbie Kane would spent something like £1 million for him a number of years earlier.
Right.
And I can say we gambled. We kept him, as we often do in January. We kept him. with the hope that we get promotion and everything would be okay. It wasn't, so they left for nothing. So we lost out on some decent money, but they're the gambles. They're the gambles you make. And although at the minute our board and owners are getting a fair bit of stick for which I know will come on to the January transfer window in particular, they held firm with that, and they neither then or now got rid of or tried to move on some of our better players in the transfer window. So hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? I always think, I mean, I don't know about those players, what those players' intentions were, but they didn't play great after Christmas. Whether they'd already decided not to re-sign, to sign another contract with us, I don't know. Or if they were waiting to see, and they might have done if we'd have gone up. I don't know the circumstances. But for me, if as a club we know a player is not going to re-sign or sign another contract, sell them. That's whatever happens, sell them. And I think you can easily justify it by saying they weren't going to sign another contract, so we're not losing them for nothing. So we said, but in some respects, although it's not a fashionable thing to do at the minute, the board did a decent thing trying to get promotion, and it didn't work. We had a semi-final again against Bolton again. Oh, we got sick of love Bolton. I've got some. Bolton, the Fan Zone podcast of Bolton, the smashing lads. And we got sick of each other last season and the season before because we played them about, and then the previous year we played them in the FA Cup and all. So we were getting it was getting ridiculous. So I don't think I've ever appeared on. I think it got to a stage where we're appearing on their show more than we're appearing on our show. So it got a bit there. So yeah, we did them the first time, but last season. They beat us at Oakwell, and we made a pig's ear of it. We made a good go at it in the second half at their ground. We were down 2-1, won 3-2, and come very close to getting an equaliser, if you like, getting a fourth one. But it wasn't to be. And this season, it's been mixed. We started and iffy. Our new coach, Daryl Clark, he needed to find his best 11. I'm not sure if I still know our best 11. Everybody's got different views. And he tried different formations and different players within games, which didn't work. Then he settled on a style that suited the players, and we all knew suited the players, but obviously Daryl knew, so we didn't, which was 3 at the back or 5 at the back, with wing backs, 2 in 3 in midfield, 1 holding and 2 others going further forward, and a couple of strikers. And so it started to come together a lot better, and we were creating loads of chances, but not taking them all the time. We missed so many chances. It was getting a bit silly. We all knew we needed a quality striker in the summer. We got Stephen Humphreys on a free transfer from Wigan, if you like, and he's as much a winger as anything else, and he can't do it on his own. We had Max Batters, who started off well, but he's been injured now a couple of times, so he's not really been able to kick on. He's looked okay when he's played, but he's not kicked on. So we've looked weak up front. We've just looked weak up front, and we played a couple of games against Bristol Rovers. Well, 3 games, 1 in the cup and a couple of league games. In the cup game, which we lost on penalties after 9, after added extra time, and then at their ground when they beat us 3-1. We created so many chances, it was ludicrous. I think in the cup match we had something like 30 chances, and we only had a few on target and a few just missing. The number of times we skied it, goalkeeper saved it, hit the post, scuffed it, missed the ball entirely. Number of times missed the ball completely, and I think it got to them. The panicking. I'm nearly on goal. Can I score? Then they weren't taking, they weren't trying to take the chances, trying to set somebody else up, confidence issue. So we needed, in January, that target man, if you like, and someone that's proven, experienced, and could put the ball in the net, because the chances are being created. They're just not being taken sufficiently. And of course, I've told you before, been weak at times at the back. I think that from the 75th minute onwards, I think we've conceded more goals than any other club in this division. Maybe in all divisions, but certainly in our division. And a ridiculous number of goals in added time at the end of the game. So it's quite remarkable. So that whether that becomes a mindset or not, I don't know. It's not a great mindset if it is. So yeah, so it was all good. You know, we come to Christmas and it's all good. We got pasted in mid-January at home to Orient in lousy conditions. They adapted to it well. It was wet, it was windy, it was cold. The wind was ridiculous. I weren't sure that it was going to be played because it was that windy.
Yeah.
They mastered the conditions. We were shabby, and they beat us 4-0. My understanding is that we had a bit of a heart-to-heart as a club, staff and team. And then they came out. We're thinking, let's hope they came out well. Won 4 games on the trot over Christmas and the start of the new year. Against decent opposition, away to Peterborough, away to Bolton, at home to Wrexham, and we've turned the corner. We've gone from 6th and we've gone to 5th. And at my age, you don't get giddy because it's not good for you to get giddy. But potentially getting giddy, thinking, can we go up automatically? Then we had a break through the weather. A game postponed against Northampton, and we've been awful since. We've had the occasional half a game, but we've conceded so many silly goals. And times when it's not just about conceding, our general play, we've played usually half a game, and the other half, you think they're not even footballers. Just can kick the ball, but can't pass the ball, can't shoot, can't defend, can't attack. Epitomised on last Saturday against Huddersfield, 1-0 up at half time and playing well. They had a few chances as well, but we could have increased our 1-0 lead. It was a good game, a good hard battle game, but we were very good in the first half. Our team went off to cheers, 1-0 up. Their team went off, 4,500 fans of theirs, booing them off the pitch. It was all there, the team talk, get at them, come out. They got at us. We capitulated. They absolutely dominated, and the goals were coming. It were obvious they were coming. The manner of them was shocking. They didn't have to try. We gifted them 2 goals through our own ineptitude, really. So how it was all there, Matt, and then it weren't. Just weren't. So get ready. You might not think there'll be many goals, but if we play like we've been playing last couple of matches, if you've got any fitness in you at all, wait for the last. Well, wait for added time. Wait for the last 75 minutes plus. We'd be up at the top if the game's finished at 75 minutes.
Yeah. You mentioned you changing formation a lot. So do you know how you're going to set up on Saturday, or is it still a bit like us where you're kind of not sure actually where it's going to be on Saturday?
I'm pretty sure that we'll, against Stockport 2 games ago, we started the first half and were poor, awful. It was the first half this time that were poor, and we basically played 4-4-2 with a diamond, which we've done in the past, and it's been not worked at all because the personnel aren't worked. We've had Josh Earl at left back. He's a left-sided centre half. He's not a left back, and we had a right back who's basically either a centre half, if it was Mile that was playing there, Mile de Given, they were playing there, or if we're Corey O'Keefe, is a wing back, not a full back. So, and a diamond in midfield, so we're all over the place. The second half, he changed it to what the players can play and what they know, which is similar to you recently, a back 3, but we wing back, so a back 3, a back 5, whichever you want. 3 in midfield. In our particular case, it's usually 1 holding midfield player and 2 pushing on forward. Sometimes it's the other way around. It's 2 holding and 1 pushing up, but usually 1 holding. And then 2 strikers. Although when I say strikers, one of them is often Davis Keeler Dunn, who's a sort of, I don't know that modern parlance is a number 10. He can play as a striker, but he's usually coming off a striker. So it's usually 1 striker, but which has varied. Different people have done it. Last match it was Stephen Humphreys, who's a good player, but he's come back from injury and he's looking a bit out of sorts. Okay. It'll be 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it, 3-5-2, wherever it is. I hope that when you've got the ball, it's back 5. Okay. Sometimes isn't. You'll get some joy down the wings if otherwise. So.
Fair enough. We don't use the wide area, so you'll be safe. You're fine.
Good.
If Barnsley are going to have a good day, what's going to have to happen? Who's going to shine for you guys? What would need to happen for Barnsley to have a good Saturday afternoon?
I suppose for us to have a good game, we need a few players. But we need the defence to be able to defend and not let the ball bounce and then try and head it or run back. We need them to come out and head it, which they do sometimes. We need the strikers to hold the ball up, because too many times the ball goes up and it comes straight back, particularly when we tire in. But essentially, our midfield can make the difference. Our right wing back, Corey O'Keefe, if he can beat the first man, can get down the wing on the right hand side. And whichever left wing back we use, and sometimes we use Georgie Gent, sometimes more laterally it's been Neil Ferrugia, they can get down the flanks and get the ball across. But particularly it's in the centre of midfield. So if we've got Luke O'Connell, who's often the player that, as a holding player in midfield, if you like, but sometimes it's Kelechi Wakali, who's an outstanding young player. So either of them, but one's experienced and one's not quite so experienced. If they hold it, they can hold you at bay in midfield. But what we do need is Adam Phillips, who missed last week because I believe his wife were having a baby. So I hope that's all sorted out for him. If he's on song and gets on the ball, then he can cause you trouble, because he can find passes that nobody else can find. And Davis Keeler done, whether he's playing up front or drifting about, if he gets on the ball, he often goes, moves towards the left, not quite the left wing, but moves to the left, gets the ball and then cuts in across the penalty area and then strokes it into the far corner. So it's them two. If they're on song, we could do something, provided our defence don't bottle it, really.
Okay, fair enough. Let's finish on score predictions. How do you think Saturday will play out, and what would your score prediction be?
Well, I know that you've just done Red All Overs away end, and I told you. I know you said it were going to be 1-0 to you, because you got to back your own team, and I said based on it'll be 1-1. But I have to be honest. I also told you that I was lying, and that when I do our preview show tomorrow night, I still go back to me usually tried and tested that they all take the mickey out of it. It's called an Andy special for a reason. So I'm not going to lie to you on your show, because it'd be ungentlemanly, even though I can lie on my own show. Barnsley's going to win 2-1, and it's like that. And if I could cross my toes, I wish I'd got 10 hands, because then I could cross them all, because it really is entered into the realms of positivity that I don't think we actually deserve. But 2-1. Anything other than that, I'll start crying, because I've made a fool of myself again.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We will chuck the links into Red All Over in the show notes, so make sure you check out these guys, because they are brilliant. So make sure you check them out. Thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate you coming on tonight.
Pleasure.
We will see everybody next time. Thank you all for watching, and as always, up the
Reds.